Phillip Rivers might just be an Indianapolis Colt. In the year 2025, in December, Phillip Rivers could be an Indianapolis Colt. Welcome into the show. Welcome into the Swank Tank. I'm your host, Ryan Swankowski. If you can't tell, we're battling a bit of a cold. We've been getting sick left and right this kind of fall, winter season here. That's okay. We keep things rolling. We don't make excuses here on this show. We keep producing the show. Welcome in. Welcome to episode 27. It is Monday night, December 8th. To my right, as we do every Monday night, we have Monday Night Football on. If you're watching on YouTube and seeing some, flashing lights or whatever, got the big TV on. We got Chargers. We got Eagles. What a game that should be tonight if you're listening on Monday to Monday Night Football. I have the Eagles winning this game. We'll see how this ages. We've been pretty good recently on Monday Night Football winners during the show. We'll see how that ages. But welcome in to episode 27. So happy you are with us. We have a lot to get into. A lot. It starts, just kidding, it ends with the Colts. We're going to wrap up the show with Phillip Rivers potentially returning to the Colts. I'll give you my take, my piece on that, if he will actually come out of retirement. If he does, what effect that will have on the Colts, who have lost, I believe now, 3 straight. We're going to start the show with the Bucs. Talk about a team that's dealt with some injuries. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers might be one of the most injured teams in the NFL this season, outside maybe of the Niners. And they are on a slippery slope right now. The Bucs are wanting to control their own destiny. They have the Panthers twice in the last 4 weeks. Let's talk about the Bucs, where their struggles have lied. Their hot start turning into a cold last 6 or 7 weeks. The Buccaneers, their main issues, and looking forward in the NFC South with the Panthers on the horizon, potentially taking it and winning the division in 2025. We're going to talk a lot about the Bucs. Then after that, some big-time winners this week in some really huge games. Steelers get the win. Packers get the win. Jags beat the Colts, again, who we'll talk about later. And the Bills get a huge win in their own building in they got 2 games left in that thing? We're going to touch on all of those games, all of those teams winning to help them make their playoff push. After that, we're going to quickly touch on the Rams, how they've been so dominant. We're going to review some of their stats, where they lie, where their last 4 games will be played, and how close they are to Seattle. They are both 10-3. We're going to break down the Rams statistically, especially just looking at how dominant they've been. They're the favorite. They're the number 1 seed in the NFC right now. I like them to probably still win the NFC West. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the Rams. We're going to wrap up the show with none other than the AFC South. Texans, Jaguars, Colts. It's a crazy race down there in the AFC South. Texans just knocked off the Chiefs, have won 5 straight. That's right, with some of them being Davis Mills. The Jags have won several in a row now. The Colts have lost several in a row now. It's chaos in the AFC South. We're going to touch on all of that. Welcome to the show. Action-packed Week 14 storyline episode for you. Man, we got a lot to talk about. For my picks, again, there was no episode last week. Had a bunch of different work stuff going on. Fantastic. But we're back to a normal week. Monday night for listening on this Monday night. Thank you very much for being here, whether it's Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll also have our regularly scheduled show for Thursday morning. Back to a regular week. Got a lot to talk about on this one. We have gone 8-5 in straight-up winners in Week 14. That moves us to 136-69 on the season in picking straight-up winners. We have the Eagles tonight. Let's see if they can move us to 137. As far as bets went, not the best week. We went 2-4. A Swank's bank hit, that moves to, the Swank's tank hit, that moves to 8-6. If you're new around here, Swank's tank of these Swank's banks is my favorite bet of my bets of the weekend. I had Texans money line, cha-ching, but we went 2-4 on the week. That moves us to 43-41 on the year, still above 500, but work to be done. All right, that's enough of an intro. Without further ado, episode 27, Week 14 recap and major storyline breakdown. Let's do it. Let's kick off the show here in the NFC South. We have a lot to talk about with the AFC South later. Let's stay here in the NFC South. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are struggling. And that is a nice way to put it. The word struggling. Several other words I could use, but this team has been battered around, injured all over. They find themselves in a dogfight for the NFC South with the Carolina Panthers. The Bucs on Sunday lose the New Orleans Saints 24-20 and move to 7-6 on the year. Brutal loss for the Bucs in their own building. You have Bucky Irving fully healthy. You have Chris Godwin fully healthy. Baker is not fully healthy, but healthier than he was last week. Couldn't get it done against a Saints team that is bottom 5 in the NFL. Tough loss against a Saints team that is playing for absolutely nothing. You got Tyler Shuck, who's been playing honestly really well overall, given that he doesn't have a lot of weapons. Kamara's been out. Devin Neal, the rookie's been in. Yes, they have Chris Olave, Jawan Johnson, a rough offensive line. Shuck's been playing really well. But this is a brutal loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Almost a can't-lose game, and they lost it. They lost it. And now they find themselves in a really tough position down the stretch. Shuck in this game had 144 yards, 1 interception, 2 rushing touchdowns. Mayfield, 122 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception in this game. Here's like the big stat from this one. Tampa Bay went for it on 4th down. How many times? I'm asking you. Take a guess on how many times the Bucs went for it on 4th down in this game on Sunday. 7 times. They went for it 7 times on 4th down. They only got it twice. That's where this game was won and lost by the Saints and by the Bucs. Field position was flipped several times in this game. The Bucs trying to be aggressive. The Bucs were wanting to set the tone here. Be the aggressors. Be the ones that are controlling this game. Going forward 7 times, being aggressive as they were, only getting it 2 times completely flips the game upside down. And this Saints team, they're not playing for anything, except you got a division rival on the road with nothing to lose. You're giving them great field position and a little bit of momentum in those 4th down turnovers, right? Tyler Shuck's going to go down there and beat you, and he did. He did just that, and he did it with his legs, of all things. Brutal loss here for the Bucs. It was evident also that they missed Mike Evans. They very, very much missed Mike Evans. Godwin led the team this week with 55 receiving yards. It's been more evident than ever, way more evident this year than ever, that Mike Evans is needed on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, at least so far in 2025, right? You got guys like Johnson behind him, Sterling Shepard behind him. Godwin's coming off that big injury from last season, doesn't look fully there yet, has looked like he's lost a little bit of a step, which is sad to see, but it's the realistic truth. Mike Evans is monumental to this Buccaneers team. It was known how important he was, but then you take him out for several weeks, and look what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have done. They've really, really struggled. Really struggled. They need Mike back. This is a Bucs team that started 5-1 on the year. They have lost 5 of their last 7 now. And those 2 wins in that time frame. So started 5-1, have lost 5 of their last 7. So that means they're 2-5 in their last 7, which moves them to 7-6 on the year. In those 2 wins of their last 7 games, they beat the Saints, who they just lost to, and the Cardinals. They've lost to some good teams, don't get me wrong. They very much have, like the Rams, the Bills, the Lions. But still, this is a Buccaneers team that wanted to not only win the NFC South, dominate the NFC South. They have not been doing so. They started off doing so. They won the close games. They won the one-possession games. They won the games where it's 4th down and 15, and Baker Mayfield in Houston escapes out of the pocket and finds a way to move the chains, get it done. The Bucs through the first 6 weeks were healthy. The Bucs through the first 6 weeks were clutch. Since the Evans injury, it's been night and day with this Buccaneers team. They lost Mike after their Week 7 loss to the Lions. Bucky Irving has missed 7 games from Week 5 to Week 12. He's back now. Mayfield playing through a sprained AC joint. It's been up and down roller coaster season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This was a spot for them on Sunday to get back on track, to finally feel comfortable. They couldn't do it. We've touched on their injuries. We've touched on their struggles a little bit. We really about their struggles on Sunday. Let's flip it to their defense. The secondary for this team has been their weakest point, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Secondary for the Bucs has given up the 6th most passing yards in the NFL this year with 3,330. That is 6th worst in the NFL. They got guys back there like Jamal Dean, Winfield, McCollum, who are supposed to be these bona fide type of staple guys in that secondary. They have not been that this season. Bucs defense every week seemingly has an issue, and most of the time it's in the secondary. A secondary that's not supposed to be bottom 5, a secondary that's not supposed to be bottom 10, probably not even bottom 15. It's supposed to be a non-weak point for them. Not necessarily a major strength, not a weakness. It's been very much a weakness for the Bucs this season. They're just not playing overall up to standard. And that secondary with those big-time names should be playing better. Their losses before the Saints, by the way, we touched on a few of the teams they already played. But before they lost on Sunday to the Saints, they lost to Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Drake May, Josh Allen, and Matthew Stafford. Some damn good quarterbacks. All those guys are top 10. You can make the argument they're all top 8. They've lost to some talent, right? They're not going out there. This loss was uncharacteristic for them because those other losses were overall valid. Good teams on the road. You're dinged up. Got it, right? Josh Allen and the Bills, Hurts, Stafford, of course. You get it. Again, this was a spot that we're supposed to get comfortable. And what helps them get comfortable? The Bucs in 2025. Their run game with Bucky Irving. He's back now. Tucker's been good when Irving was out. Here's the deal, though. In the run game, their leading rusher, outside of their game against the Bills. So Irving, I believe, had like 140 against them on the ground. Great game from him. Outside of that game, their leading rusher in the rest of their games this season, all of them, 71 yards on the ground. This is a team that, through their injuries, has relied on, especially over the last, several weeks, has relied on the running game to fill the void of a Godwin who's missed time, of an Evans who missed time, a lackluster wide receiver room besides them, Cade Otton, who's been really a non-factor this season. They've relied on not only the running game, but the running backs out of the backfield catching the ball to make big-time plays for them, right? But only one time this year has their leading rusher gone over 100 yards. Hell, it's been 71 yards outside of that Bills game, their leading rusher in any other game this season. Yes, I get it. There's a committee approach there with Tucker and with Irving, sort of. Yes, I understand they've been playing recently a lot from being down, right? When you're down, you're obviously not going to be running the ball as much. But that's been one of their issues, going down. First 6 weeks of the season, they went down 10 points, whatever it was. You felt like they could come back. You felt like they would come back. They have not been able to do that. Ever since Mike Evans went down, Mayfield misses his guy. He misses his receiver that's had 1,000 yards every single year of his career, which will come to an end this season. They miss him so much, and it's so evident. So when that run game can't get going like they fully want to, part of the reason they're down in a lot of these games now, it's a struggle for them. It's a struggle. So, and with that secondary being as weak as it is, this team's banged up, they're weak, and right now they look like they overall just lack some confidence. Mayfield plays with a lot of swagger, but he's dinged up. It's rough sledding right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's see what they can do down the stretch. Let's see. Because it's make or break time for the Bucs. Obviously, 4 games left, 2 of the 4 against the Panthers. Let's look at their last 4 games. They have the Falcons in Tampa Bay. Then they are at the Panthers. Then they're at the Dolphins, who will right now have a lot of momentum. They're not making the playoffs. Then you got the Panthers in their own building in Week 18, which very much could be for the NFC South altogether. The Panthers, on the flip side, last 4 games for them. They're at the Saints this week. Could the Saints play spoiler again? Then, obviously, they're at home against the Bucs. Then they're at home against the Seahawks. Then they're at the Bucs again. instinctively, right now, if I had to give you an answer, I will still say the Bucs win the NFC South. Given that, Seattle and the Buccaneers, their running defenses are both top 8 in the NFL this season. The Panthers, when they cannot run the ball effectively, lose a majority of those games. That's my angle I'm going to come at here for now. Obviously, it will be decided really in this, not this coming game, but the game after with that first Panthers-Bucs game, in Carolina. Going to be a phenomenal stretch for both these teams, viewing-wise, and just to see these two teams that have been up and down all year long. Panthers, as we touched on last episode, been one of the most inconsistent teams in the NFL. The Bucs, with all their injuries, with their secondary struggles, and beyond, have been all over the place. Up and down, up and down. Both these teams, can they find balance down the stretch? It will be really entertaining to watch. If I had to tell you right now, I'm still picking Bucs, but you never know. I guess we will. In about 2 weeks, we'll see who's got the edge. Though I won't fully decide it. We'll see who's got the edge. The Bucs, let's see what they can do moving forward. Now we move into some big-time game reviews from this past Week 14. The Steelers defeated the Ravens. The Packers, huge NFC North win against what was the red-hot Bears. The Jaguars stay hot and defeat the banged-up Indianapolis Colts. The Bills defeat the Bengals, who absolutely, with Joe Burrow, have a top 5, top 10 offense. But then you look on the defensive side of the ball where they're spending $0, it seems, and they lose. We're going to start with the Steelers. Let's do it. Steelers defeat the Ravens 27-22. Picked this one, by the way. Knew this one was coming for the Steelers. You're talking about Mike Tomlin, who's, you definitely know, heard the noise all week long. Oh, fire Tomlin. Oh, his time has come. Oh, they're completely mediocre. Oh, they haven't won a playoff game since 2016. Not saying those things are necessarily wrong, but he heard it. You don't think it motivated him? This is Mike Tomlin. This is a phenomenal NFL coach for the past 2 decades. Has been an elite NFL coach, if not a top 5 coach over the past 2 decades. He has been. That's a fact. Tomlin heard the noise. And this Ravens team has been so damn relatively predictable in terms of their approach, but not in terms of how they keep finding ways to lose, whether it's turnovers, whether it's secondary. We knew this was coming for the Ravens. I've been saying all year long, really since they, sort of make the climb back up. 3-5, 4-5, 5-5. People saying, watch out for the Ravens. I continued to be pessimistic to them and a non-believer. On Thanksgiving, I tried to change that. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's their time. I was wrong. I stuck with my gut. This week, the Steelers went into Baltimore and got it done. We knew it was coming. More on the Ravens here in a sec. Let's start with the winners. I didn't do that there. Let's go back and start with the winners. Rodgers, 284 yards here, 2 total touchdowns. He had a rushing touchdown in this game. The Unk, running it in. Lamar, 219 yards, 2 total touchdowns, and 1 interception. Steelers, this is their kryptonite this year. This is what worries me down the stretch for Pittsburgh overall. I mean, yes, their secondary has not been great. Their run defense has not been great. Very true. But this is the big point. Steelers had 34 total rushing yards in this win. If I told you on Sunday, or before Sunday, I should say, the Steelers ran the ball for 34 yards, you would tell me in a heartbeat the Ravens win that game. And I wouldn't blame you. But the Ravens continue to find ways to lose. Let's keep going. Metcalf, one of his best games of the year, 148 yards and 7 receptions. Didn't find the end zone, but man, had a great big-time plays from DK Metcalf. Also, why are you having your wide receiver your wide receiver you're paying over $30 million a year, your essentially only air weapon on the team, going down there and on punt returns and trying to make tackles? What are you thinking? Why is he a gunner in that situation? Am I missing something here? What is Tomlin thinking? I don't know who their special teams coach is off the top of my head. Bonehead move. Unless I'm missing something. Those guys are way smarter than I am. It seems a little idiotic. If I were them, I wouldn't be having my best offensive player go down and try to make tackles on punts. I digress. the stats here all around. So the Steelers, right? 34 total rushing yards. These stats all around, outside of that one, in this game, were pretty even all over. I mean, relatively similar. Pretty similar yards overall, pretty similar drives, time of possession, penalties, sacks. It was all in the ballpark, in the same ballpark. But outside of those rushing yards, Steelers' weakness this year has been rushing the football on offense effectively, consistently. I'm worried about that in that aspect. Ravens are, like I've been saying, such an incomplete team. When it's not one thing, it's another. When it's not Lamar turning the ball over 4 times in one game, it's, okay, the run game can't do anything. That wasn't here in this game. It's the secondary can't do anything. We're making one too many mistakes, too many penalties, whatever it is. The Ravens in 2025 are such an incomplete football team. We've talked about this on several episodes over the past month or two. They're incomplete. On paper, they should be dominant, especially in their secondary. It's chopped. It's been chopped up, diced up, served to whoever they're playing against. It's been ugly. It's been ugly. Tomlin heard the damn noise, and he got it done. That likely touchdown, by the way, I know you all saw it. The 1 foot, the 2 feet, didn't really make that, football move, quote, as they call it, get that 3rd foot going. Look, to me, that's almost a 50-50 call. It didn't bounce the Ravens' way. They couldn't respond and punch it in regardless. So that's just how the cookie crumbles. And for Lamar and company, that cookie's been crumbling for them all season long. They're missing the playoffs, people. Open your eyes. They're missing the playoffs. There's no benefit of the doubt with this 2025 Ravens team. None. They lack an identity. They lack a consistency that they have had, right? They've had consistency. They've had an identity for the past several years, especially in the regular season. Maybe not playoffs, but regular season. That identity is gone. That consistency is gone in 2025. Stop using years prior to try to make a prediction about the 2025 Ravens. No more benefit of the doubt for them. None of it. Steelers take the lead in the AFC North. That run game is a problem. 4th least rushing yards in the NFL for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That running game is an issue moving forward. But goddamn it, they got it done on the road when they needed it most. Aaron Rodgers still has a little bit of that clutch gene in him. Just a little bit. Steelers right now lead the AFC North. We keep rolling. The Green Bay Packers defeat the Chicago Bears 28-21 and regain the number 1 spot in the NFC North. Jordan Love in this game, 234 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. My God, does this man love Toyotathon or what? Look up his stats during Toyotathon. I believe it's like late November into December, something like that. Maybe it's just December. Whatever it is, go look up his stats during that time. He's elite. He's lethal. He was lethal in this game. The Bears secondary had been relatively keeping it together for the past weeks, especially during their winning streak. But man, Jordan Love diced them up however he wanted, especially against the blitz. He was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Ben Johnson and company wanted to dial it up there. Dennis Allen wanted to dial it up there. He did unsuccessfully. LaFleur heard the noise. He was ready for it. Caleb Williams, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Great football game here. This was a great football game. You could say in the first half it wasn't. I still thought it was. Competitive, grimy, NFC North December football. That's what you expect from the NFC North in December. That's what I expect from it at least. And I loved watching it. Very similar stats here on both sides. Similar to that last game overall. Pretty similar stats here on both sides of the football. 10 total penalties in this game. 2 total sacks in this game. Love was dialed. Jordan was dialed, especially against the blitz. Big thing here, though. No Odunze. Odunze being out. Yeah, he's been really hit or miss this year. Started off really strong through weeks 1 through 6. Kind of has been really inconsistent since then in his usage, in his targets, in his receptions. Also, to add on to that, though, the lack of DJ Moore in this game. He had 1 catch for -4 yards in this spot. This isn't some 39-year-old that, you run out there because he's done a lot for your franchise. This is a guy, it's a big-bodied wide receiver with some great hands that's still got some big-time playmaking ability. Your wide receiver one is out in Odunze. I understand you have Burden. I understand you have Loveland. I understand you have a strong running game. I get that. They had to utilize DJ Moore here more, ironically. He's a great player. Didn't fully understand that game plan from Ben Johnson in the offense in this spot. I understand they kept it close. Get it? He didn't win the game. DJ Moore, 1 catch for -4 yards. To me, in this spot with Noah Odunze, unacceptable. Yet here we are, looking at it. And the lack of explosiveness in this game, was evident without Odunze. With DJ Moore only getting that 1 catch. The Bears' longest play of scrimmage in this game was 27 yards. Even with Burden active, with DJ Moore active, who didn't get used enough, with Odunze out, they lacked explosiveness overall in this game, which I think really hindered them. The Bears like to do that. Ben Johnson, as we know, likes to get tricky, likes to dial it up, likes to go deep when he wants to, when he's got the weapons to. In this spot, no Odunze, I get it. I wanted to see Moore get utilized here, especially down the field, or just freaking run Burden down there. Fast, quick, twitchy wide receiver in Burden. Wanted to see some more explosiveness or just some more shots downfield from the Bears in this spot. Again, longest play of scrimmage for them, 27 yards. It was too little, too late for Chicago. Caleb Williams threw a brutal interception to end the game in the end zone. Could have ran for the first down, had DJ Moore for a potential touchdown, decided to loft one up across his body, running to his left. Felt like a rookie mistake from Caleb Williams there. There's really not much else to that. Bad decision. And you can't fully knock them. Bears are still in a good spot here, sitting inside the playoffs at the moment. Not at the top of the NFC North, but inside the playoffs still. But that's a tough play to look back on, right? The Bears have been so good as of late. The comeback kids, I get it. Hard to knock the Bears right now, overall, the way they've been playing. Caleb, that's a play, obviously he wants back. It's a play you can't have happen at this phase in year 2 in this moment. A pick is one thing. This interception was another thing. Cross the body, floating it up. He's better than that. Let me rephrase. He should be better than that. Ben didn't, quote, enjoy this one against LaFleur. LaFleur gets some worded revenge, I should say. Packers, last 4 games. They're at the Broncos next week, at the Bears again, quick turnaround there. Ravens in Lambeau, and then they're at the Vikings. Tough stretch. Very tough stretch for Green Bay. The Bears have it harder. I think, at least. They got the Browns in Chicago. Sure, looked damn good last week. Then Packers in their own building. Then they're at the 49ers. Then they've got the Lions in Chicago. This is going to be interesting. Really interesting. Both those schedules are pretty tough. We'll see. I mean, right now the Bears are, I believe, a half game back. Maybe a full game back with that tie. That tie makes things very weird, very interesting. Let's see down the stretch what could happen. Green Bay gets a major win. LaFleur gets some worded revenge. Packers win this game 28-21. The Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen and company, defeat the Bengals 39-34. Josh Allen, 251 yards and 4 total touchdowns. Joe Burrow, 284 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Quarterback masterclass here. I mean, Allen, one of his best games of the year. He not week in and week out, but maybe every other week in and week out, is just an absolute machine. The entire Buffalo Bills team. 251 and 4 total touchdowns here. I believe he had almost 80 rushing yards to go on top of that. No turnovers. Josh Allen was a beast in this game. He is the Bills. He is the team. It's all on him. When he doesn't play well, the Bills lose. Their defense has not been good this year. We know that. Burrow, classic Burrow game here. 4 tutties, 284, 2 picks. Yeah, played great. He played great overall. Bengals. This goes against the final score overall. Bengals were 3 of 3 in the red zone, so they were perfect. 10 of 12 on third down. but only had 62 rushing yards in this game and imploded on back-to-back plays in the fourth. Interception on back-to-back plays. One went for the pick six. Next play, another interception. Unacceptable. But that's been the 2025 Bengals. Mistake there, mistake here. Defense is absolute crap. Lose the football game. Pretty plain and simple there. And again, that describes the Bengals 2025 to a T. Incomplete football and can't close out games defensively, right? Let's break this down here. The Bengals, and this has been a known fact all season long, are spending $124 million per year on 3 players. Do any of those players play defense? No. Maybe they need to start training the guy like Travis Hunter to go play defense for them, the way they're paying these offensive players. Almost half of their salary cap is between 3 players. And all three of them play offense. Burrow, Higgins, Chase. Dramatic pause there for emphasis on how damn bad the Bengals defense is. Oh, but Swank, I mean, there was a pick six that happened. They weren't even that bad. They had a few big turnovers when needed to in the red zone. I get it. But all year long, the Bengals defense has been bottom 5 in both running and passing majority of the year. If it's not bottom 5, it's bottom 8, 100%. It's been awful. So the Bengals moving forward have some really interesting decisions to make because there's only so much you can do when you have almost half your cap tied up in 3 players. And they all play offense. On top of this, Trey Hendrickson is now out for the year with, it was like an appendix injury, some type of injury like that. He's out for the season. So question mark there, do you bring him back? Question mark at every position on defense for the Bengals. Credit to the Bills here for their win. I'm still super worried about him. It took every ounce of Josh Allen's energy and leadership here in this game for them to get this win. When he doesn't play like this, the Bills are obviously in trouble. Defensively, very lackluster. They were better here on the ground defensively, right? Their defensive line, that front push has not been good whatsoever this year, giving up a lot of rushing yards, a lot of yards per carry, a lot of rushing touchdowns. But they were better here, only 62 yards on the ground. Very good. I'm still really worried about Buffalo because when Josh Allen can't go full Superman, who are the Bills, right? They don't have a bona fide wide receiver 1, right? They don't have the guy. Yes, it should be James Cook. It should be. And he showed a lot of flashes of that. He's not, a guy you can fully rely on yet. He has a few fumbling issues, as you can see. Not a guy you can fully trust yet when Josh Allen isn't playing well. And then you don't got a guy like a CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Devontae, whoever, right? They don't have a bona fide guy like that. When you're losing, you got to hit him, right? They don't have a guy when Josh Allen maybe isn't playing his best game, you say, just put it in his hands. If you want to make the case for Cook, sure. To me, he's not fully there yet to be that guy that can win you those games when Josh Allen isn't playing as well as he maybe should be, or as now Bills fans are expecting him to play like a top 1 quarterback every single game for them to win. Bills get it done. They win 39-34. Credit. They find a way. But I'm worried about Buffalo, especially defensively down their stretch. 100%. I know I mentioned we talk about the Jags here. We're going to wait to talk about them more with our last segment of the show in the AFC South. Let's touch on the team leading the NFC West right now by half a game. Let's touch on the team that is leading the entire NFC, the number 1 seed right now, after Week 14. The Los Angeles Rams. Let's listen to some of these stats, okay? The Rams continue to show how and why they're the best team in the NFL. Grab your popcorn, sit back, relax, maybe you got a little slushy in your hand, tuning into the show. By the way, thank you so much again for tuning in, listening. If you're not already, go and follow all the socials at the Swank Tank. Phenomenal content continuing to be pushed out as we enter holiday season. No breaks during holiday season. Come playoff time especially, you want to be tuned in on all of the socials. YouTube at the Swank Tank. Instagram, TikTok at the Swank Tank. Do not want to be missing all the clips and content going on over there. especially come playoff time. We're down the stretch, people. We got 4 weeks left. It's crunch time, almost playoff time. If you're not tapped in fully, go and do so. Easy to follow, easy to subscribe, easy to leave a review. I'll greatly appreciate it. You don't want to miss out on that content. Back to the Rams. Sit back, relax. Let me give you some stats from the Rams this season. They have, in Matthew Stafford, for a few of these right here, the most passing touchdowns in the NFL with 35. The Lions are second with 27. Matthew Stafford has 8 more passing touchdowns than the second guy closest to him, and Jared Goff, his NFC foe. So Stafford's leading the league in touchdowns. He also has the 4th most passing yards in the NFL. Along with that, he has the 2nd fewest interceptions in the NFL. What am I saying here? MVP, MVP. You can hear the chants. They're happening outside my building. It's going on. Maybe it's happening even in this Chargers game going on right here in SoFi. Those quote, air quotes, Charger fans. Maybe some of them are Rams fans too. Saying MVP, MVP. You can hear them. They're starting to simmer. They're starting to rise. It's happening. Stafford for MVP week in and week out continues to grow, gain momentum. Outside of Stafford, the Rams, 10th most rushing yards in the NFL. Kyron Williams and company, impressive. They have allowed 17 sacks this year. Stafford has only been sacked 17 times. That is, checks notes, tied best in the NFL. Tied number 1 in the NFL for the least amount of sacks given up. On the flip side for sacks, they have the 6th most sacks in the NFL with 36 of them. Along with that, they've given up the least amount of rushing touchdowns with 4. They've given up 4 rushing touchdowns all season long. That's the best in the NFL. Stafford has been sacked 17 times this year. That's the best in the NFL. Matthew Stafford leads the league in passing touchdowns. That's obviously, as I just included in there, the best in the NFL. 4th most passing yards, 2nd fewest interceptions, top 10 in rushing yards, 6th most sacks. This team is so damn complete in all aspects. The quote, right? All 3 phases. If there was a 4th phase, they'd be damn good at it too. A lot of credit given to the Rams. Those are just numbers, right? When you think about it. But the emphasis here, the point we're making here in episode 27 on the Swank Tank, the Rams are the most balanced team in the NFL. Week in, week out. Offensively, defensively. Special teams, they've been okay. They've been good enough to not be a full hindrance. But my God, all 3 phases, when you incorporate them all 3 together, elite. Not top 3, not top 2. They're 1. They are 1 of 1 so far in 2025. They got to wait a little ways to go. That division is nowhere near on locks. 49ers, they can sniff it. The Seattle Seahawks, right there on them heels, right? Right there on the Rams' heels. They cannot be complacent. They won't be. That's not McVay. That's not Stafford. They will not be complacent. But my God, this team is so damn complete. They should be feeling good about themselves and where they're lined up right now. 10-3, first in the NFC West. Their last 4 games go like this. They have the Lions in LA. They're at Seattle, potentially for the division. Maybe. At the Falcons, and then the Cardinals. Lions and Cardinals in their own building, at Seahawks, at Falcons. They could definitely win out. They could definitely win these 4 games and win out. Obviously, the big one at Seattle. Challenging game, challenging environment, playoff environment, basically a real playoff game in a sense. Because, let's just say the Seahawks drop a game. Let's say the Rams drop a game, right? Let's say the Seahawks drop a game. Let's say the Rams drop a game. Not even before they play, maybe even after, right? Never know. Monumental, essentially a playoff game coming up here in Seattle in 2 weeks. That is going to be absolute, the meme I always love to do if you're watching, cinema. That is absolute cinema. But I think they can win out. 100%. The way they've been playing, they could win out. They could. Going to be really fun to watch down the stretch. And I keep saying that, but it's a fact. All of these divisions are so damn close. They're so close and so competitive. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch. I mean, surprisingly, one of the ones that's the least competitive is the AFC West. The Broncos are about to clinch that thing up. They're getting close. And I guess the Patriots as well, right there. And, the AFC East. But, I mean, Sean McVay, Chris Chula, they have this team locked. They have this team loaded. Jared Verse, Devontae Adams, 14 touchdowns receiving, leads the league, leads the NFL in that category. Most receiving touchdowns for Adams so far in 2025 of all players. Nakua, 1,186 yards this season. They are so elite. They are so elite. Matthew Stafford is 37 years old and is leading the MVP race. He has the most passing touchdowns. Adams has the most receiving touchdowns. The Rams are not getting sacked. They're creating a lot of sacks. They're top 10 in rushing yards. So damn elite. Flowers have been given. It's not over. Nowhere near over. Job's not finished. But the LA Rams right now are the most complete team in the NFL. I expect them down the stretch to not only continue to play how they've been playing, maybe even elevate before they get to the playoffs and lock in that number one seed, get that first round bye. Let Stafford, his quote old head, take a week off, right? Get him nice and rested. This Rams team's dangerous. You don't want to see them. Down the stretch, you don't want to see them in the playoffs. We move forward into our last big segment of the show. The AFC South. What have we stumbled upon here? The AFC South is in a three-way battle. Emphasis on battle. I mean, it's a dogfight right now in the AFC South. It looked more than over just 4 weeks ago. The Colts were locking that thing up. It was over at 7-1. The Colts are now 8-5. The Colts may also miss the playoffs. We're not going to start with them. Let's start with Houston. The team that just went into Arrowhead on Sunday Night Football, potentially ending the dynasty. Some people got upset about that. Oh, you can't end a dynasty in 1 year. Oh, whatever, okay? The Texans eliminated the Chiefs from the playoffs. Oh, but theoretically, the Chiefs have a percentage to make it. It's over. It's done. You will not be seeing Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, Travis Kelce in the playoffs this year. Everybody rejoice. Rejoice. I know I am. So refreshing. So refreshing to see the Texans defeat the Chiefs 20-10. I do have stats here, but a lot of social media has been talking about the stats. I'm not going to get into that in this one. Not here in this spot. There's only one stat you need to know, and that's it. Mahomes had his lowest passer rating of his entire career in this game. A 19.9. Oh, excuse me. I was off by 0.1. 19.8 passer rating here for Patrick Mahomes. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Round of applause, anybody? For Mr. Patrick? Look, if it sounds like I'm hating, I'm not necessarily trying to, right? But, I mean, we're all happy they missed it. If you're a Chiefs fan, you're obviously not. Everybody else in the NFL community is just happy. They've got an extra little pep in their step on this Monday evening or Tuesday, whenever you're listening, or Wednesday, whenever you're listening. It's an extra spring in their step, maybe an extra grin here and there on this fine day because the Chiefs ain't making it. And the Texans defense is so damn elite, they might be, it's a debate, one of the best defenses of all time. Still a lot of game to be played. Still a lot of history to be made. But this Texans defense right now is on pace to potentially be one of the best defenses we've ever seen. Patrick Mahomes got destroyed in this game. I understand his receivers didn't help him in the slightest. Kelce, Butterfingers, Rashee Rice got the piss knocked out of him by Jalen Petrie. Thornton thought he had a touchdown. Here comes Lassiter out of nowhere. Boink. Knocked the ball right out of his hands. The Texans saying is swarm. It's a little cheesy, but it's accurate. They were swarming on Sunday night. They've been swarming all damn year. I said the Texans were basically dead. If you know me, that you know this is my team. On the show, I try to remain completely unbiased. But you know I have a little fandom for my boys. And by that I mean a huge fandom, but for the show, I put it to the side for the most part. I said the Texans really early in the year after that Denver loss, I thought it was over, right? Offensively, Stroud got hurt. Offensively, they hadn't been able to get anything going. Continuously hadn't been able to close the door, let Denver go down there, kick a field goal to win the game as time expired. I said they were basically dead. Hand up, and I'm so glad to be wrong. One of my favorite times of the year, maybe ever, to be wrong. I was wrong, hand up, that the Texans were dead. They've won 5 straight, people. They have beaten, in a row, really good teams. The Bills, the Colts, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Back-to-back games on the road, at Colts, at Chiefs. Beat them both. This team is lethal. They're dangerous. They're not lethal offensively. Offense still has a lot to figure out. They couldn't stop the blitz for anything on Sunday Night Football. That's their big issue. Offensive line in picking up the blitzes. Stroud, he didn't have his best game through the air, but my God, he made some critical throws, some critical plays. That's the CJ Stroud you know and love, at least I do. He's not throwing 350 and 4 touchdowns, right? Like maybe a Josh Allen would. What he's doing, though, he's managing the game. He's not turning the ball over, which is key. And when that blitz is coming in and he's having to scramble, in the clutch when needed, he's finding those windows and getting it done. I know people wanted Mills. Some of them were saying keep Mills in. I was very anti that. I will always be anti that if CJ Stroud is a Houston Texan, because of what you saw Sunday night. Playmaking ability when shit hits the fan. CJ Stroud the past few weeks has stepped up in that aspect. The Texans went in there and made Andy Reid too aggressive. I can't believe I'm even saying that. They made Andy Reid almost switch up his identity. They made Andy Reid go for it on 4th down from their own, 30-yard line? Didn't get it. It was crazy to watch. Houston did end the Chiefs' 2025 season. Houston we could look back on this 2 or 3 years and say Houston ended the dynasty. Obviously, it's a little bit of a hyperbole. It's a little bit of an exaggeration. And it could be very not true. But there's a chance. Huge win for the Texans. Jaguars. They've won 4 straight. They look damn good. What they've looked now is consistent. They're putting together great games on both sides of the football. Offensively, this week, one of their best offensive weeks, consistency-wise, I've seen. Found Jacoby Myers. Really had anything they want. They got whatever they wanted early. They were up big at half against the Colts. If they had 28 or 31, whatever it was, at halftime, they were putting up some points on the Indianapolis Colts. They've looked good. They've looked consistent. That defense, that pass rush is really good with Walker, with Hines Allen. And you know what? I mean, you can feel the momentum in that locker room. You can feel the momentum right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Liam Cohen's got them fired up. Liam Cohen has Trevor Lawrence playing overall clean football, consistent football. The Jaguars, their biggest if all year long has been playing consistently. They have the talent. They have the pieces. It's there. Can they keep it together down their last 4-game stretch? They have the Jets in Jacksonville. Then they're at the Broncos. Then they're at the Colts. Then they have the Titans in their own building. I think that's 2-2. It could be 3-1. I'd be surprised if that was 4-0. I think at Broncos, they're either losing to the Colts or the Broncos. We're about to touch on the Colts here in a second, and Phillip Rivers, potentially. I think that they go 2-2. They drop one, and I think they lose to the Broncos. If that were to happen, they end 11-6. Does that win them the division? It may not. We'll have to see. The Colts. This is how we wrap up the show. A lot of time here going to be spent on the Colts. I don't know how else to state this, so I'm just going to come flat out and say it. The Indianapolis Colts in 2025 now are going to miss the playoffs. I'm going to repeat it for you. The Indianapolis Colts in 2025 are going to miss the playoffs. They started 7-1. The Colts started 7-1. They now sit at 8-5. They've lost 4 of their last 5. Also, get this. Here's the biggest part. Their last 4 games. Okay, they're 8-5. They're still in it. They're hanging by a thread. Even with their injuries, they still got a shot. Valid? Okay. Here's the last 4 games. At Seattle. That's rough. Especially given their injuries. That's rough. Okay. Oh, then the 49ers just trot on in, desperately needing a win. Okay. Then the Jaguars go into Indy. Also, probably trying to lock up, potentially, the AFC South in that game. Oh, and then they go to Houston, take on the Texans. That's a brutal stretch. That's got to be the hardest stretch anybody has the rest of the way, the last 4 games in the NFL to finish out the year. The biggest note, though, the biggest thing of those teams I just mentioned, Seattle, 49ers, Jags, Texans, the Colts' last 4 opponents down the stretch. 3 of those 4 teams have a top 5 rushing defense. That's where the problem lies for the Indianapolis Colts. Ruh-roh. To quote Scooby-Doo, ruh-roh. Because when Indiana Jones, speedy prayers to him, speedy recovery to him, we want to see him heal. Torn Achilles for Daniel Jones. It was already playing through a broken leg, essentially. Prayers to Daniel. Had a great year. Was the leader of that team. Got hurt. Things went downhill. Unfortunate to see him out. But this is the way of the NFL. It's tough, but you got to figure it out. I mean, injuries are a part of the game. It's sad. The Colts now have their back against the wall. So when you see Daniel Jones go out, when you see now them looking for Phillip Rivers to maybe come in and play quarterback for them, Riley Leonard may not play on Sunday. AR-15 is still out with that freaking orbital bone face injury he got in the pre-games of several weeks ago. When you see all that, when you hear all that, given that injury, given the injuries they have, you understand they want to pound the rock, especially now. They want Jonathan Taylor to touch the ball minimum 40 times a game now, right? The absolute workhorse. He was in the MVP race, is now kind of falling out of it a little bit. The Colts are going to ultra rely on their running game and Jonathan Taylor. Okay, right? That would be all fine and dandy, except they're going up against, in the last 4 games, 3 of the top 5 rushing defenses in the NFL. Texans, Jags, Seahawks, and the Niners also have a good rushing defense. That's where the problem lies for the Indianapolis Colts, is that they're not going to be able to just click the Jonathan Taylor button. That's the issue for them down the stretch. They're going to go 1-3 in this stretch. Maybe 2-2. If they end 10-7, I don't think they get in. They might if they go 2-2. But going 2-2, given their injuries, given their rushing defenses they're about to play, not necessarily a miracle, but it would shock me. It would shock me. And what else would shock me? The big news that came out on Monday night. Phillip Rivers will be worked out by the Indianapolis Colts Tuesday morning. Phillip Rivers, the 44-year-old, will be going into the Indianapolis Colts building where he last played 5 years ago for a workout on Tuesday morning. Like I already mentioned, Anthony Richardson's still injured. Daniel Jones out for a year. Riley Leonard, the rookie quarterback from Notre Dame, may not play Sunday. 3 of their quarterbacks, all out, potentially, on Sunday. Where do they look? They call up Phillip Rivers. Hey, big man, I know you hung up the cleats. I know you just retired fully as a Charger last year or in the offseason. We know you last played for us in 2020. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. But, you want to come out for a workout? Maybe try to lead us to the playoffs? Guys, it's his birthday today, by the way. Phillip Rivers, today, as we're recording this, December 8th, just turned 44 years old. Happy birthday, Phillip. Happy late birthday if it's Tuesday. Phillip Rivers. There's your birthday gift, Big Phil. Why don't you come on in for a workout? Try to save our organization. What are the Colts thinking? What are the Colts thinking? I love Phillip Rivers, right? Loved him I mean, he was part of my childhood. Watching him throw for freaking 5,000 yards, I felt like every year. I mean, he's top 10 in passing yards all time. Phenomenal player, phenomenal man, phenomenal father, and phenomenal athlete. But he's hung up the cleats after 2020. This man hasn't played football in over 4 years. This man's a grandpa. This dude literally turned 44 as we're recording this today. If it's Tuesday, yesterday. In the 2020 season, Phillip Rivers had a 24-11 touchdown to interception ratio. So he hung it up when he still had some pop to him. You could tell he was slowing down. But he still hung him up when he was still playing decent football. The Colts also have only given up 23 sacks this season. That is top 10. So if you're worried about him getting knocked down, hurt, injured, taking a lot of hits, the Colts offensive front's been good this year, especially in not letting their quarterback get sacked. Top 10 in sacks given up, right? They don't give up a lot of sacks. That's good. Something to look at there for Phillip Rivers. Maybe a little enticing. Here's my final statement here. I don't think two things. One, I don't think Phillip Rivers gets signed by the Colts. Two, I don't think the Colts should sign Phillip Rivers. Swank, why do you say that? Guys, he hasn't played football in over 4 years. He's 44 years old. There's other options to be explored. You may look at the free agency market right now for quarterbacks, and you're going to be astounded at relatively how bad it is. Your mind might be blown, actually, at how bad it is. The trade deadline's passed. You can't make a trade. Only way they're going to get a major upgrade at quarterback from what they have right now, oh, wait, by the way, which is nobody, is if somebody cuts a player, which right now nobody's going to cut a major quarterback because the Colts are going to pick him right up. Here's my thing. Don't go sign Phillip Rivers. Yeah, he knows quote, your system because he's been there before 5 years ago. Go and get Taylor Heineke. That's what I think the Colts should do. He's the best free agent quarterback available for you. He's been a plug-and-play quarterback in situations in Washington, a little bit in Atlanta. He's got playoff experience, I think, or at least he's got important game experience. If I'm the Indianapolis Colts, I go take a look at Taylor Heineke, a guy that has been relatively clutch when needed to be in his past. Has won some big-time games for the Commanders before. That's where I'd be looking. He's also not 44 years old. He's also not a grandpa. Well, he might be. We don't necessarily know. But he's not 44 years old. He was also in the league last year. If I'm the Colts, I'm calling Taylor Heineke right now. I love you, Phillip. Stay retired. Keep the cleats hung up. That's where I stand with the Colts. That's where I stand with Phillip Rivers. I think there's a better option in Taylor Heineke for them. I get it. But I think there's a better option there. And that is going to wrap up our episode 27 of the Swank Tank. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. If you are not already, make sure you go and follow on all the socials at the Swank Tank, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. I appreciate you more than ever. Thursday, we have a full action-packed Week 15 episode for you Thursday morning. You're going into work. Maybe you're mowing the lawn. Maybe you're just starting your day drinking some coffee. Whatever you're doing, Thursday morning, tap in. Huge Week 15 episode. Deep diving into all the games of Week 15, analysis, bets for the Swank Tank, DFS locks, as we always do. Full Week 15 preview on Thursday morning. You don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Swank Tank. I'm your host, Ryan Swankowski. Tap in on all the socials. We will see you Thursday morning. Have a great start to your week.